Hello, everybody. This week I wanted to show my brother's guitar I'm working on. This is how I have it now. Um, it doesn't have any strap buttons on there, but I went and visited Guitar Center. It got me some strap locks, the S-Locks by Schaller. And I ordered from Amazon. I got these little felt washers for them. And also what I ordered from Amazon is, see, this pick guard isn't the right pick guard. It's supposed to have like a one ply, and it never fit right, if you can see that gap there. So I ordered this, and this should fit a lot better. The electronics in here are from a Everything Axe, and I got it for the Squire, but it was too thick. I think it was this volume pot. It was too deep. It's a Seymour Duncan, like one where you like screw it in. So I'm gonna replace that with a normal pot. But that's why I didn't use it for the Everything Axe. So these were just from that guitar. These were the single coils from it. So when I got this and everything was rusted out, I basically just used this pick guard. So these electronicals can stay. Tomorrow I should have some Fender 5762s coming into Guitar Center. I also got a replacement bridge. Nice thick block on there. It's the Fender. But I gotta get a whammy bar or wang bar or whatever for it. And I'll get that at Guitar Center tomorrow too, along with a CTS pot to replace that. And it looks like I'm going to need a Switchcraft jack right here, because this has still got some rust on it. As you can see back here, if I can get a good angle on it, there's still rust here on this bridge. The original pickups were basically covered in rust. Yeah, it's hard to see. I was trying to like get a better shot, but you can barely see where the finish kind of, chipped off on the edge. The last thing I'm going to do is the neck and tuners. Like, I'm debating like $700, because I want to get the American Fender's 50 neck, and that thing is like $700, because that's I was reading online, the Mexican made ones don't have a very thick V on the neck, and I love a thick neck. So if not, I'll just get Clusion tuners and just replace the tuners. So far the tuners have been okay. So I know they're those cheap, knockoff ones, but yeah, and then uh but eventually I think I'm gonna replace the neck. I don't know. I'll see how long I can hold out. That's a lot of money for me. So I'd have to trade in some gear, and I'm kind of like holding off. I might need a new. Um, I'll see what they have at Guitar Center. String tree, and then of course I've got the NYXLs 11s. I've been going back and forth between them and Ernie Ball, and it's funny because it's like I I like the NYXL slightly better than the stock Ernie Ball, but the stock Ernie Ball is like a third of the price. And so I don't know. I do love the little players points, and the green picks, the green Diodario picks are kind of nice, but for having fiberglass in them, I figured they'd be stronger. They seem to be wearing out, even though they feel stiffer and harder. They seem to be wearing out faster than my Jazz 3s that I use, or that are just simple nylon. So I don't know. I might go back to the Jazz 3s. I don't know. I'm kind of like I like my shoes to match my purse. So it's like, if I go back to Ernie Ball, I'll probably go back to the Jazz 3s, and then Ernie Ball has these new flat patch cables that I'm kind of excited about, because right now I'm using the Diodario, the ones where you make them, yourself. You they're like, it's like a kit, And the problem is every once in a while, and I don't know if it's the cable, it could be just one of the pedals is bad, but I'll just not get any signal through the whole like board. Like it happened at the last gig at the Whiskey, and for about 5 minutes during sound check, I was just panicking, trying to get sound to my amp, and then like I'd unplug the cable going from my pedal board to my amp, and you'd hit the thing and it'd buzz, and then so I'd be unplugging certain pedals trying to find where the buzz stopped when you unplug it and buzz it, and then it was just like going, I don't know what's going on, and then magically it started working again. And so I was like, okay, well, and then luckily when we started playing it worked again, but like every once in a while I'll get no sound, and I don't know if it's just a random pedal, or it could be just a random cable. I jiggle them and I don't hear any noise. And I used the older, bigger ones back in the day when we used to gig a ton, and I never had a problem with one of them. In fact, I had one that I finally had a problem with. I was using it as a regular cable. I basically just used a 10-foot length of cable, and I put the two ends on it, the two angled ends, screwed them on, and I was using it. It was fine. And then one day it started like making noise when I wiggled it. And I looked, and I remember this happening. Like one of the last gigs we did back then, like me and Scott used to smash our equipment, and his cymbal fell on my cord and cut it. But I guess it didn't cut it. So, and the cable worked, so I didn't think anything about it. So months later, here I am playing in my house just by myself, and it starts to make the noise, and it was right there where that cut was. I started wiggling it more, and it started kind of crackling and cutting in and out. So that's how durable their cables are. So I don't know, the whole flat cable thing's kind of new, but if I can get just a little bit more room on my board, and if I can, have a soldered connection, because like I always hear from a lot of people like, oh no, you don't want these cable kit solderless plugs because they'll eventually fail. And I used to have George L's, and they failed on the regular. These Diodaros seemed a lot better, but I don't know if it's their fault or it's just it's just weird happenstance. I don't know, because like I said, I give them the jiggle test every once in a while to see if I can get it to cut out. And in between, like I have like 15, 16 pedals on my board, and it's just like, nope, still no crackling, nothing. So no cutting out. So it's just a weird thing. So if I replace all the cables with the Ernie Ball flat soldered ones, then I might at least be able to eliminate one thing out of the equation, and I'll be able to go, okay, what pedals screwing up here? Because I am suspect about an old Electro Harmonix Neo clone I have. I mean, those Electro Harmonix pedals, even though they're made in the U.S., they're not the best built pedals, So it's just kind of like, I'll see. Hopefully, I'll worry about this after the gig. But yeah, here's my brother's guitar. So I've been told the story about my brother's guitar. See how it says Fender Squier Series? Well, basically, in the early 90s, the Mexican Fender factory caught on fire, so they sent American-made bodies and necks down to Mexico. They put foreign parts on it from Asia, and then they sold them as kind of like a in-between Squier, in-between Fender thing, And so you replace all the parts. You basically, with American-made parts, which I'm doing, you'll basically have an American-made guitar. And I can't wait. Like I'm more of a telly guy, but you know, a strat could be nice. You never know. I might fall in love with the strat and never look back. You know, but I do like. I was playing with the floating tremolo, and I know it has its downside of you break a string, you're done because all the other strings go sharp, and you can't drop drop tune it because you know if you go to drop D, all of a sudden the other strings go sharp because it's just kind of it's basically balancing the pressure on one side of the springs and the strings on the other side. But I'm thinking just playing everything of my own in standard anyway, and with Halcyon, that's where I use my tellies, and those have hardtail bridges. So, but yeah, just checking in. I've been working on the album. Um, I've gotten two of the vocals done. I'm working on the third, and essentially two of the songs are completely done, and the third one needs a vocal and then a solo. And I really like how they came out. There's one where I had a 12 string doing a lead at the beginning, and I didn't like the way it sounds, so I put horns over it, and it sounds so fucking cool and weird. Yeah, I'm just having the time of my life. So yeah, after I fix this up, it'll be my brother's acoustic, and that thing needs frets, I believe. So that's going to be a whole nother thing. So just checking in, and have a good one.